Now, we've been following former Royal Marines Commando Pen Farthing and his desperate effort to get the 25 staff working at his animal charity, their families and all the beloved animals out of Afghanistan. We spoke to Pen yesterday, revealing a vital piece of information from the UK government was holding his rescue mission back, which we then put to the Armed Forces Minister, James Heappey.
We have actually privately chartered an aircraft into Kabul airport. Right now, I need to have an ISAF call sign. So if the MOD is listening to this, I need that ISAF call sign and I need it this morning.
Can you get that? And are you able to answer that, James?
I mean, not right now here, but it's in my notebook. I'll get Pen an answer as soon as I can thereafter. And okay. If I may, he has energised the nation. I've had hundreds of emails from my constituents who feel very passionately about his charity. I'm delighted to hear that things are progressing. My colleague, the Aviation Minister, Rob Courts, I know has been working very hard on trying to come up with a solution for him. If the call sign is what remains to be done, then that sounds like something we can take away and hopefully get for him. Oh, good, I hope so. And I'm pleased to see that he has energised your constituents as well, that his story is connected with people. Yeah. Hundreds and hundreds of emails. I think we are a nation of animal lovers.
So all sounding very hopeful there this time yesterday, but in the past 24 hours, those hopes appear to be dashed. We're joined now by Pen Farthing in Kabul.
Good morning.
Now, this is not the interview we were expecting to do, I suppose, today, because when you put out that, great plea yesterday for the MOD to listen to the call sign that you needed, James Heappey there said, yes, take a note of it, it's in my notebook. Then what happened?
I think he may have misplaced his notebook because today we still do not have anything from the MOD. In fact, they've actually cut me off. I did have an emergency line that I could call if I was in trouble or I needed to report something that was going on, and that's been cut. So I've been literally left now on my own in basically enemy-held territory, so to speak. I just can't get my head around that.
So
we've got a privately funded... Sorry, we've got a privately funded plane. We can take 250 passengers out on that plane. 69 of them would be obviously myself and the staff. We've got an empty cargo hold. I don't understand the problems here. I'm not asking the MOD to give me a plane. I just need to have a call sign. And I still also, sadly, do not have anything official from the Home Office to say that my staff, even though the Prime Minister has said they've been approved, I have nothing in writing, so I couldn't get my staff through the Taliban checkpoints if I wanted to. I honestly do not understand what's going
on. How long do you have that plane for, should that call sign come in between, this week at some point? Could you still get on that plane? And is the question about where it might land possibly the issue, in that the airport that we're all talking about has got military aircraft going in and out of it. And, of course, the one that you're talking about would be a commercial plane, which, of course, wouldn't have the same, perhaps, capabilities as a military aircraft. Could that be part of the problem?
Absolutely not. There are commercial aircraft landing at Kabul airport right now. There are charters coming in. There's no argument that it's anything to do with the fact it's not a military aircraft. The runway here was designed for obviously commercial aircraft in the first place. At the end of the day, it's a flight coming in. It just needs some space. We're only given 90 minutes on the ground, and then it will be gone. I just can't understand it, because we're not asking for anything. We're not going to take the place of people. We're actually going to put more people than we have on that flight to get them out of this absolutely desperate situation. And little Ewok here, he's going in the cargo hold. You don't put people in a cargo hold. So if I don't take these animals, then that flight will take off with an empty cargo hold, and I will have to put all of these to sleep. How can I do that when we have a solution? I'm not asking for military assets in any other way than a call sign number for the flight.
And so can you hold on to that in a sense that if there's a delay... Well, look, we've got Ben Wallace on the programme, the Defence Secretary. later on in this programme. Of course, we're going to put this to him. But if there's a delay in getting that call sign to you, for whatever reason that we don't know yet what that reason is, if it were to come tomorrow or the day after, is there still an opportunity for you to get on that aircraft if you get the call sign?
Well, obviously, our biggest problem next to having this call sign is actually getting into the airport with 69 people. There's got to be a bit of planning going on here. So I can't plan to move until I know that I've actually got an aircraft coming.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy that me and the team and the dogs and cats just sit on the corner of that airfield for 2 or 3 days. We're prepared for that. But if that aircraft isn't forthcoming, I know that obviously my team will be able to get on one of those military aircraft. That means then I will have to put to sleep every single dog and cat on that airfield before I leave.
Which we really hope doesn't happen, of course. I mean, it must be so frustrating for you that it's coming down to not having the paperwork, it's coming down to not being able to get this call sign, which would seem like things that are easily achievable from our point of view. You know, we will find out exactly what's going on when we speak to Ben Wallace later to get the details of that. How do you feel at the moment? Because you must have thought, great, I'm getting this sorted out. We've got the say-so for people to go. I mean, do you feel like it's slipping away from you, or do you think, look, that we can still get this to happen?
I served Queen and Country for 22 years. I never, ever, ever thought that I would be treated like this in return. Yesterday was absolutely the lowest point so far of all of this. And I've got an amazing team back in the UK. Obviously, my wife, Kaiser, in Norway. And
it's hard for you to talk about that. Yeah.
I mean, they're the ones who got around me and said, stop moving about, grow a pair and get back into the fight and get it done. And, I kind of needed that yesterday then to, just talk to me like I was, when I used to be back in the Marines, they were like, what are you doing? Don't give up, get on with it. And that's the attitude we've got today now. We're back on it. It's, it is now literally a fight between us, and the MOD just to get a call sign so a commercial aircraft can land that will take extra people out of this horrendous disaster that's unfolding. And in that cargo hold, it's empty. So we're going to pop the dogs and cats. We're going to make a good news story out of everything that's going on here. It's kind of like, a bit of Dunkirk spirit. The MOD didn't want, all those people to help in the evacuation, but we know where that went. They needed all those people to help in that evacuation. So stopping us from a flight, I just do not see. Yeah. I just can't see. I can't understand it.
And what is the prospect, do you think? I mean, when we spoke to you on Friday, I think it was an extraordinary interview, of course, because your heart was still racing because the Taliban had 15 or 12 of them had driven up to your premises and were about to come and knock on the door and do the search. And obviously, and all of that obviously makes everybody feel extremely nervous. Your staff, perhaps mostly, because they're Afghanis working with a British, essentially, charity. And have you had any more of those instances? And what are your worries then? If this call sign doesn't come in, do you have any sense that you might be able to, in some way, carry on your work peacefully there? I know that sounds perhaps ridiculous as a question, but that is potentially the one route that's still there, hopefully, for you, is that you could, in some way, carry on your work there beyond August the 31st.
There's definitely certain aspects of our work. So, potentially our donkey welfare project, there's over 1 million donkeys here in Afghanistan. And so we've been working particularly hard to treat and advise, obviously, the owners, treat the donkeys, on a better donkey care. And I'm sure that part of our project will probably be able to continue. Obviously, our work with dogs, won't be able to continue. The Taliban banned dog ownership, banned dog fighting because they didn't want people handling and touching dogs. But one thing I'd like to make crystal clear, I don't want to be around here to find out that they actually don't want me, here in the country. Once the West has gone on maybe the 31st of August, there's no support. There's no one going to come and get me if they do decide that, they don't want a Westerner here. I'm quite happy to get back to UK, take some time out, obviously sort out the resettlement of our staff, look after the animals and get them rehomed. And then I'll see what the Taliban are doing. And if they've actually turned a new leaf, then I'm more than happy in a year's time to bring Nowzad back to Afghanistan. But I don't want to be here to find out that they haven't changed.
Well, Pen, obviously the situation can turn on a pinhead there, can't it? And let's hope it swivels again for you, as it did in the last 24 hours, and let's hope in the next 24 hours something else can happen.
We will be putting all of this
can change your fortunes
to the Defence Secretary when we speak to him, so hopefully he might have more news on exactly what's going on. But Pen, also I hope, you will be seeing on social media the sort of swell of support from people that there is for you. The Armed Forces Minister talked about it yesterday, the hundreds of people that had emailed him, and he talked about how you energised the nation. So we really hope that everything works out well for you and for your staff and all the animals. But thanks very much for joining us with that update.
Thank you. Say goodbye.
Bye, Ewok.
Oh, bye from Ewok.
Bye, Ewok.
Cheers. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much, and let's hope that that you're out of the country soon with everybody.